Money is more than just paper and numbers in your bank account. It's security, freedom, and choice. In the United States, where the cost of living can vary dramatically from city to city, saving money has become more than just a good habit. It's a survival skill. Think about it. Emergencies can strike at any time, whether it's a medical bill, sudden car repair, or job loss. Without savings, you're left scrambling, borrowing, or worse, falling into debt. A shocking number of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, often spending as much or more than they earn, and that leaves them vulnerable to stress and instability. Beginners often feel overwhelmed when they hear words like budget, investments, or financial planning. But saving money doesn't have to be complicated or scary. It's not about living a boring or restrictive life. It's about learning smart strategies that allow you to enjoy today while still protecting your future. In this script, we're going to break down 7 powerful, smart money-saving hacks designed especially for beginners living in the USA. By the end, you'll see that financial control is not only possible, it's empowering. If you've ever found yourself wondering where your paycheck disappeared before the month ended, you're not alone. Many beginners in the USA struggle with money because of 2 things: lack of financial education and lifestyle pressure. Schools rarely teach students how to budget, track expenses, or save effectively, so most people learn by trial and error, often making costly mistakes along the way. Then there's the pressure of lifestyle choices: grabbing Starbucks every morning, upgrading to the latest iPhone, or eating out multiple times a week. While none of these are bad in moderation, they add up quickly and eat away at your savings potential. The challenge isn't that people don't earn enough, it's that they don't manage what they already earn. Without guidance, beginners end up stuck in a cycle of overspending, debt, and stress. That's why learning practical hacks like budgeting smarter, cutting unnecessary expenses, and maximizing your money can make all the difference. The goal isn't deprivation, but smarter decision-making. Before diving deep, let's lay out the roadmap. The 7 hacks we'll cover are: 1. Budgeting the smart way. 2. Cutting unnecessary expenses. 3. Smart grocery shopping. 4. Reducing housing and utility costs. 5. Transportation savings. 6. Building an emergency fund and using high-yield savings accounts. And 7. Earning while saving. Each of these hacks builds on the other, and together they form a complete beginner-friendly money-saving system. Think of it like building a house. You need a strong foundation before you can decorate. Budgeting is the foundation, expense control is the structure, and everything else adds stability and long-term security. By taking small steps in each area, you'll notice real results without feeling like you're sacrificing everything you love. And remember, these hacks are specifically designed for life in the USA, taking into account costs like healthcare, housing, transportation, and food, which are often higher than in other countries. Let's get started with the first and most important hack: budgeting the smart way. Budgeting might sound boring or restrictive, but in reality, it's your ticket to freedom. A budget isn't about limiting what you can do. It's about making sure your money works for you instead of against you. Imagine you're planning a road trip. Without a map or GPS, you'd likely get lost, waste gas, and spend more money than necessary. That's what living without a budget is like. In the USA, where living expenses can feel unpredictable, budgeting helps you take control and prepare for surprises. Beginners often make the mistake of thinking budgeting is just tracking expenses, but it's more than that. A smart budget helps you prioritize essentials, allocate money for fun, and still put something aside for the future. It's about balance, not punishment. With the right system, you'll know exactly where your money goes, and instead of wondering, where did it all go at the end of the month, you'll feel proud seeing your savings grow. One of the most effective budgeting hacks for beginners in the USA is called zero-based budgeting. Here's how it works. At the start of each month, you assign every dollar of your income to a specific purpose: rent, groceries, transportation, savings, entertainment, and so on, until there's 0 left unassigned. That doesn't mean you spend everything. It means every dollar has a job. For example, if you earn $3,000 a month, you might assign $1,200 for rent, $400 for groceries, $300 for transportation, $500 for savings, $200 for utilities, $150 for insurance, and $250 for entertainment. The beauty of this method is that it forces you to be intentional with your money. Instead of wondering where it went, you're telling it where to go. Beginners often find this approach eye-opening because it eliminates wasteful spending and creates clarity. Apps like EveryDollar, YNAB, You Need a Budget, or even Mint make zero-based budgeting simple and beginner-friendly. Budgeting only works if you track your spending consistently. Think of it like a fitness plan. You won't lose weight if you only exercise once a month. The same is true for money management. Beginners often write a budget at the start of the month but forget to check in, which leads to overspending. That's why real-time tracking is crucial. Thanks to technology, it's easier than ever to track spending. Most U.S. banks have mobile apps that categorize your purchases, while apps like Mint, PocketGuard, and Good Budget help you see where your money is going instantly. The goal isn't to micromanage every cent, but to stay aware. For example, if you notice you're overspending on dining out, you can make a conscious choice to cook more at home for the rest of the month. Real-time tracking gives you the power to adjust before things spiral out of control, keeping your savings plan on track. Here's a secret. The best budgets are the ones you can actually stick to. Too often, beginners give up on budgeting because they feel it's too strict. That's why you should always include a fun money category in your budget. This is money you can spend guilt-free on things you enjoy, whether that's coffee, movies, shopping, or weekend trips. By allocating even a small amount, say $50 to $100 a month, you'll avoid the feeling of deprivation that often leads to splurging and blowing up your budget. In the USA, where consumer culture is strong and temptations are everywhere, having fun money is essential. It helps you stay disciplined in the long run while still enjoying life today. Remember, the point of saving isn't to deny yourself happiness. It's to create a system where you can enjoy life without financial stress. A balanced budget should make you feel secure, not trapped. One of the easiest ways to stay consistent with your budget is to automate your savings and bill payments. Beginners often struggle with discipline, but automation removes human error. Most U.S. banks and credit unions allow you to set up automatic transfers to your savings account every payday. This way, you're paying yourself first before spending on anything else. Similarly, automating bill payments ensures you never miss due dates, avoiding late fees and penalties. For example, if your rent is due on the 1st and your paycheck arrives on the 28th, set up an automatic transfer so it's handled without you even thinking about it. The less you have to manually manage, the easier it is to stick with your budget. Automation creates financial consistency, and consistency builds savings over time. Beginners who automate often find saving money becomes effortless rather than stressful. For many beginners, the hardest part of budgeting isn't math, it's mindset. People often associate budgeting with sacrifice or failure, but that's the wrong perspective. Instead of seeing it as restriction, see it as empowerment. You're telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. Beginners in the USA sometimes resist budgeting because they fear it will make life less enjoyable, but in reality, it's the opposite. Without a budget, you spend blindly, often leading to debt and stress. With a budget, you gain control, reduce anxiety, and create room for goals like vacations, homeownership, or early retirement. The key is to reframe budgeting as self-care for your finances. Just as you'd exercise to stay healthy, you budget to stay financially fit. Once you shift your mindset, budgeting becomes less of a chore and more of a lifestyle habit. By now, you can see why budgeting is the first and most important hack for saving money in the USA. Without a budget, the other hacks simply won't stick. Budgeting helps you understand where your money is going, eliminate waste, and build a plan for the future. The smartest beginners don't just budget once, they create systems that make it a natural part of life. Whether you're using zero-based budgeting, tracking expenses in real time, setting aside fun money, or automating payments, the goal is the same: to build a strong foundation for financial success. Remember, a budget isn't meant to restrict you, it's meant to free you. Once you master this foundation, you'll have the confidence and clarity to apply the next money-saving hacks effectively. And that's where we'll head next, learning how to cut unnecessary expenses without feeling deprived. Cutting unnecessary expenses is one of the easiest yet most powerful money-saving hacks for beginners. The truth is, most Americans don't go broke from one huge expense. It's the daily small leaks that drain the budget. Think about it. A $6 coffee each workday becomes $120 a month, which is $1,440 a year. Add in a couple of $15 streaming subscriptions, impulsive Amazon buys, and frequent dining out, and suddenly thousands of dollars are gone without you even noticing. These expenses are sneaky because they feel small in the moment, but they accumulate over time. Cutting them doesn't mean you have to stop enjoying life. It means becoming more intentional about what really adds value. Beginners often find that once they identify and reduce these unnecessary costs, they immediately feel more control over their money. And the best part? You don't need to earn more to save more. You just need to stop the leaks. One of the biggest budget killers in the USA today is subscriptions. From streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus, to gym memberships, food delivery apps, cloud storage, and even subscription boxes, Americans are signed up for more recurring charges than ever before. On their own, $9.99 or $14.99 doesn't feel like much, but stack 8 to 10 of these together and you're easily spending over $100 to $150 a month. That's $1,800 a year. The hack here is simple. Audit your subscriptions. Write down every recurring charge you have, cancel the ones you don't use, and see if you can share or downgrade the ones you do. For example, instead of paying for 4 streaming platforms, pick 1 or 2 and rotate every few months. Many beginners also forget about free options. Libraries in the USA offer free ebooks, audiobooks, and even movie rentals. Cutting unnecessary subscriptions is like giving yourself a raise without working extra hours. Dining out is another silent budget drain. In the US, the average restaurant meal costs about $13 to $20 per person, not including tax and tip. Do that 3 times a week and you're spending over $200 a month, or $2,400 plus a year just on dining out. Compare that to cooking at home, where a home-cooked meal might cost $3 to $6 per person, and you see how quickly the savings add up. Beginners often resist cutting back on dining out because it feels fun, social, and convenient. But the hack isn't to eliminate it completely, it's to strike a balance. Try cooking more at home during the week and reserving eating out for weekends or special occasions. Meal prepping is another game changer. By planning and cooking meals ahead of time, you avoid the temptation of ordering takeout after a long day. The difference could mean hundreds of dollars saved each month without sacrificing enjoyment. Lifestyle creep is when your expenses rise along with your income. For example, you get a raise at work and immediately upgrade your apartment, buy a new car, or spend more on shopping. Suddenly, the extra income disappears and you're no better off than before. In the USA, where consumer marketing constantly encourages you to upgrade your life, lifestyle creep is a real threat. The hack to avoid it is to freeze your lifestyle temporarily whenever your income increases. Instead of spending the raise, save or invest it. Beginners who apply this hack often find they can build savings much faster without feeling deprived. For example, if you get a $200 raise and put it into a high-yield savings account instead of new bills, that's an extra $2,400 saved per year. Avoiding lifestyle creep is about resisting the pressure to keep up with the Joneses and focusing instead on your own financial goals. Cutting unnecessary expenses doesn't mean living like a monk. It means aligning your spending with what truly matters to you. By reducing subscriptions, eating out less, and avoiding lifestyle creep, you'll free up hundreds or even thousands of dollars each year. Beginners in the USA often think saving money requires drastic changes, but small adjustments can have a huge impact over time. The goal isn't to eliminate joy, it's to cut waste so you can redirect that money towards savings, debt repayment, or experiences that bring real value. Once you learn to control these everyday leaks, you'll feel empowered, and that sets the stage for the next hack, smart grocery shopping. After all, groceries are one of the biggest recurring expenses in American households, and with the right strategy, you can save big without sacrificing quality. Groceries are one of the largest budget categories for most American households, often costing between $400 to $800 per month depending on family size and location. For beginners, this expense can feel overwhelming, especially with rising food prices. The good news? Grocery spending is one of the easiest areas to cut back without feeling deprived. The hack isn't about eating less, it's about shopping smarter. Think of grocery shopping like a game. The goal is to get the highest quality food for the lowest price. Beginners often make mistakes like shopping without a list, going to the store hungry, or buying brand name products when cheaper alternatives exist. With just a few adjustments like meal planning, couponing, and choosing the right stores, you can slash your grocery bill by 20 to 30% every month. Over a year, that's hundreds or even thousands saved, money you can put directly into your savings or investments. Meal planning is one of the most effective hacks to reduce grocery costs. Without a plan, beginners often walk into the store grabbing whatever looks good, only to overspend and waste food. In the USA, the average family wastes about $1,500 worth of food every year simply because it goes uneaten. Meal planning fixes this. By deciding what you'll eat for the week, making a list, and sticking to it, you shop with intention. For example, planning 3 dinners, say spaghetti, chicken stir-fry, and tacos, means you can buy ingredients that overlap, saving money and reducing waste. Apps like Mealime, Plan to Eat, or even a simple notepad make this process easy. Beginners often find that once they start meal planning, grocery trips become faster, cheaper, and less stressful. Plus, it saves time during the week because you already know what's for dinner, reducing the temptation of costly takeout. Another grocery-saving hack is buying in bulk and choosing store brands over name brands. Warehouse stores like Costco and Sam's Club are extremely popular in the USA for a reason. Buying bulk items like rice, pasta, or frozen chicken often cuts costs significantly. While the upfront cost might feel higher, the long-term savings are substantial. Similarly, store brands are often just as good as big-name products but cost 20 to 30% less. Beginners sometimes hesitate to try them, but blind taste tests repeatedly show that many store brands are indistinguishable from the premium versions. For example, Target's Good & Gather or Walmart's Great Value brands offer quality at a fraction of the price. The hack here is simple. Don't pay for the label, pay for the value. By combining bulk buying with store brand shopping, beginners can cut grocery bills dramatically without sacrificing quality. In the US, there's an entire world of savings hidden in coupons, cashback apps, and digital deals. Gone are the days of cutting paper coupons from newspapers. Now you can save with a few taps on your phone. Apps like Ibotta, Rakuten, and Fetch Rewards let you earn cashback on groceries just by scanning receipts. Most grocery chains also have loyalty apps that offer weekly discounts or digital coupons you can load directly to your account. Beginners often ignore these tools because they assume it takes too much effort, but in reality, it only adds a couple of minutes to your shopping routine. Over time, those small savings add up, sometimes $20 to $50 per month. Think of cashback and coupons as free money you'd otherwise leave on the table. By combining these apps with meal planning and store brand choices, your grocery bill can shrink significantly, leaving you with extra cash for savings. By now, you can see how powerful smart grocery shopping can be. It's not about eating less or giving up your favorite foods. It's about being strategic. With meal planning, bulk buying, store brand substitutions, and cashback apps, you can cut hundreds of dollars from your annual grocery bill. For beginners in the USA, this hack is especially valuable because groceries are a consistent, recurring expense. Unlike one-time savings, grocery hacks save you money every single month. The key is to build these habits gradually so they become part of your lifestyle. Once you master grocery shopping, you'll not only save money, but also eat healthier, waste less food, and feel more organized. Next, we'll continue Hack 3 by diving deeper into advanced grocery strategies before moving into Hack 4, reducing housing and utility costs. Beyond meal planning and coupons, another grocery hack beginners should master is timing and store choice. In the USA, different stores have different price strengths. Aldi, for example, is famous for low prices on staples, while Costco and Sam's Club excel at bulk deals. Local ethnic markets often sell fresh produce, rice, and spices much cheaper than large chains. Timing also matters. Many stores discount bakery items, meat, and produce late in the evening or on certain weekdays to clear stock. By shopping strategically, you can grab high-quality food at a fraction of the price. Another trick is to shop less often. Limiting grocery trips reduces impulse buys. Beginners often go to the store several times a week, and each quick trip ends up adding $20 to $40 of unplanned spending. Switching to 1 or 2 planned trips per week saves both money and time. Combining smart timing with store strategy can easily cut an additional 10 to 15% off your monthly grocery bill. Smart grocery shopping isn't about cutting quality, it's about buying intelligently. Beginners often assume that saving money means eating boring meals or living on instant noodles, but that couldn't be further from the truth. With meal planning, bulk buying, store brands, cashback apps, and timing your shopping, you can eat fresh, healthy meals while still saving hundreds per year. The key is being proactive instead of reactive. Instead of wandering the aisles and letting marketing control your choices, you're the one making the plan. Once this becomes a habit, you'll notice 2 things. Your grocery spending drops and your kitchen feels more organized. It's a win-win. Now that we've tackled groceries, let's look at one of the biggest challenges for beginners in the USA: housing and utility costs. Rent, electricity, water, and internet can eat up huge portions of your paycheck. But with the right hacks, even these big bills can shrink. Housing is typically the single largest expense for Americans, often consuming 30 to 40% of a person's income. For beginners, this can feel like a trap. You get your paycheck and nearly half disappears into rent or a mortgage. Add utilities and suddenly there's little left to save. But there are smart hacks to reduce this burden. One option is to negotiate your rent. Many beginners don't realize that landlords in competitive markets may be open to lowering rent slightly, especially if you're a reliable tenant. Another strategy is considering roommates or shared housing, which can cut housing costs by hundreds of dollars a month. For utilities, small changes like switching to LED bulbs, using energy-efficient appliances, and unplugging electronics when not in use can lower bills. These savings may seem small individually, but combined, they add up over the year. Housing costs will always be significant, but with a few smart moves, they don't have to crush your budget. Utilities, electricity, water, heating, and internet are often underestimated as savings opportunities. In the USA, the average household spends about $2,200 annually on energy bills. The hack is to make small, consistent changes. For example, lowering your thermostat by just 1 to 2 degrees in winter and raising it slightly in summer can save hundreds. Using a programmable thermostat ensures efficiency without effort. Water savings also add up. Fixing leaks, taking shorter showers, and running dishwashers or washing machines only with full loads can cut bills significantly. For beginners, another overlooked area is internet and phone plans. Providers often compete, and negotiating or switching can reduce your monthly bill by $20 to $50. Over a year, that's several $100s saved for making a few phone calls. Utilities are often seen as fixed costs, but with awareness and smart habits, they can become another area where you take control. By approaching housing and utilities with strategy, beginners can lighten their financial load. Whether it's negotiating rent, sharing housing, using energy-efficient practices, or optimizing service plans, each decision creates breathing room in your budget. Too often, people accept these costs as unchangeable, but in reality, even small changes produce significant savings. The key lesson here is, don't accept costs at face value. Question and optimize them. Once you learn to view housing and utilities as flexible instead of fixed, you unlock one of the biggest areas of savings potential. And with those big expenses under better control, it's time to tackle another category where Americans spend heavily. Cars are expensive, not just to buy, but to maintain, fuel, and insure. In the USA, the average annual cost of car ownership is over $10,000 when you factor in gas, insurance, maintenance, and depreciation. For beginners, this can be overwhelming. The hack isn't necessarily to give up cars completely, it's to use transportation smarter. If you live in a city with reliable public transit, consider using it instead of owning a car. Even using it part-time can save hundreds. Carpooling with coworkers or friends is another powerful hack, reducing gas and wear and tear costs. If you need to own a car, buying used instead of new can save thousands up front and prevent steep depreciation. Insurance is another area where beginners often overspend. Shopping around and comparing quotes can cut your premium significantly. Transportation is essential, but it doesn't have to be a money drain if you approach it with strategy. Once you've saved on groceries, housing, and transportation, the next step is to protect yourself with an emergency fund. This is money set aside for unexpected expenses, medical bills, car repairs, job loss. In the USA, where healthcare costs alone can be devastating, an emergency fund is essential. Beginners should aim for at least $1,000 to start, then build up to 3 to 6 months of living expenses. The hack here is to automate savings into a separate account so it grows quietly in the background. Even small contributions, $20, $50, $100 a paycheck, add up over time. The peace of mind an emergency fund provides is priceless. Instead of panicking when life throws surprises, you'll have a financial cushion. Beginners often underestimate this step, but it's the foundation of financial security and the bridge to true independence. In the USA, many beginners leave their savings in regular bank accounts earning almost no interest. That's a mistake. High-yield savings accounts, HYSA, often offered by online banks, provide interest rates 10 to 20 times higher than traditional banks. For example, instead of earning just a few dollars a year, you could earn hundreds depending on your balance. The hack is simple. Once you've built your emergency fund, place it in an HYSA where it can grow passively while still being safe and accessible. Many HYSAs have no monthly fees and allow free transfers back to your main account when needed. This is a beginner-friendly way to make your money work for you without risk. While it won't make you rich overnight, it ensures your savings are protected from inflation and growing steadily. Combining automation with an HYSA is one of the easiest wins in personal finance. Saving money isn't only about cutting costs. It's also about finding ways to earn while you save. Beginners in the USA have more opportunities than ever to do this. Cashback credit cards, for example, reward you for spending on essentials like groceries and gas. Used wisely and paid off in full each month, they provide free money back on purchases you were going to make anyway. Many employers also offer 401k matches, which is essentially free money for your retirement savings. Then there are side hustles, freelancing, selling unused items, or even part-time gigs that can bring in extra income. Beginners often think side hustles require huge skills or time. But even small efforts like tutoring, dog walking, or delivery apps can add hundreds per month. The hack here is to shift your mindset. Saving isn't just about reducing, it's about multiplying opportunities so your financial foundation grows stronger from both sides. You've now explored 7 smart money-saving hacks designed specifically for beginners in the USA. From mastering budgeting, cutting unnecessary expenses, and shopping smarter for groceries, to reducing housing and transportation costs, building an emergency fund, leveraging high-yield savings accounts, and earning while saving, you have a complete toolkit to take control of your finances. The most important thing to remember is that saving money isn't about restriction. It's about freedom. Every dollar you save is a step toward peace of mind, independence, and the ability to live life on your terms. Beginners often feel overwhelmed at first, but small, consistent actions create massive results over time. Don't try to do everything overnight. Start with one hack, build the habit, then move to the next. As the months pass, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. The ultimate hack isn't just about money. It's about creating a mindset of intentional living that builds a brighter, more secure future.